Hello everyone, welcome to today's forum. Despite the COVID-19 epidemic, I'm very happy to see everyone online. At this critical post-pandemic moment, we believe through spreading the positive impact and important message can unite more and more people to get through this difficult moment. In this forum, we will share with you through the speech of different people about a group that has been dedicating to spreading the message of love and peace throughout the world. Its militias persecuted by its own government, using illegal taxation and judicial measure for 25 years. The Taiwan case, which suffered from serious human rights violation, has also caused awareness and condemnation by the international. Before we move on to today's discussion, let us share with you through this video the view of experts and scholars from different countries on the Taiwan case.
Taiwan Qigong Academy and the Action Alliance to Redress 1219 have sought justice from Taiwan's government through live protests and virtual forums.
Stop violating Taiwan's human rights!
So the Taiwan Qigong Academy case started in 1996, and it was persecution on spiritual groups, and Taiwan Qigong Academy was caught in the crossfire of all of that. Despite the Supreme Court of Taiwan's rulings that we're innocent and tax-free, a few rogue bureaucrats continue to send us tax bills, and even just last year in 2020, our land was illegally auctioned off.
The Taiwan case has also garnered support from scholars around the world.
And in Taiwan, the long-running attack against the Taijimen community by bureaucratic despots within the tax administration have led many religious freedom experts around the world to condemn this form of administrative religious persecution.
The abuse of the National Tax Bureau has lasted for almost a quarter of a century. I call upon the Taiwan government to honor the law, the sentences passed by its judges, and the moral responsibility it has to watch over and protect all its citizens equally, as determined by its own mandate.
A breakthrough in the case occurred when the principal witness, on whom the prosecutor based his tax evasion accusation against Taijimen, told a journalist that the prosecutor oversaw the case and that the witness testimony was merely a formality. The witness revealed that illegal tax bills were issued to Taijimen at the request of the Investigation Bureau's City Field Office. Sheng accepted this interview when seriously ill and revealed that he was pressured to do what the prosecution told him to do. Although he has since passed away, Taijimen is hopeful that his testimony will provide the evidence needed to obtain justice.
It proves that what happened was not a mistake. There was no mistake. It was a deliberate framing of Taijimen for obscure motivations through false documents, false accusations, and a false tax investigation that never happened. Now, if this is not enough to reopen the Taijimen case and cancel the 1992 tax bill, give back to Taijimen their sacred land, I don't know what more is needed. It's a general principle of the law all over the world that when new elements emerge, even final decisions can and should be revised. Revision is a fundamental principle of justice.
So far this year, the Action Alliance to Redress 1219 has presented messages to representatives from TECRO, the Taiwan Economic and Cultural Representative Office in San Francisco and Washington, D.C.
We're Taijimen members in the United States. We conveyed our message to Taiwan's representative Lai in San Francisco.
We have just conveyed our message to Taiwan's representative Xiao in the DC.
So far, there has been no response, but the Taijimen Qigong Academy and the Action Alliance to Redress 1219 continue their activism in person and online, where scholars continue to voice their support for the cause.
The government of Taiwan should do the right thing and eliminate the tax from 1992, which is just absurd considering what has happened for 1991 and the other years, and to restore the property that was unlawfully seized.
The difference with Taiji men is that they fight. And perhaps it's not too much to say that they're fighting to preserve Taiwan as a democratic country that follows its own laws and stifles corruption in bureaucracy.
Justice for Taiji men, for human rights!
Now, we'll have 4 speakers from different walks of life to share their own stories. The first speaker, she is now an entrepreneur in healthy and beauty industry. Please welcome Selena Liu.
Hello everyone, my name is Selena Liu. I'm an entrepreneur in health and beauty industry. I also have been crowned Miss Global City Beauty Pageant in 2019 and the Best Popularity Award. I used to be very insecure about myself, like my body and face, just like most of the girls. However, I remember I'm not just a girl, but also a Taijimen 弟子 who has been practicing Qigong for over 20 years. What I learned not only gained physical health at Taijimen, but also learned to love and accept myself as a human being. I've ever participated the cultural group world group abroad with my 师父, 掌门人 of Taijimen, Dr. Hong, to promote love and peace and cultural exchanges. When I interacted with people from all over the world, I feel the purest emotions between people, crossing everything for the common wish of love and peace. Therefore, not only in beauty contest or providing beauty products for my customers, I want to discover the love in everyone's heart and spread happiness to everyone, which is the true beauty of being a human being. But more importantly, having an empathetic heart, which is also the path that helps me to be successful in the right way. Me and my entire family have followed 师父 for years. We learned the precious wisdom in Qigong from 师父. I'm very proud to say I'm a Taijimen 弟子. On December 19, 1996, Prosecutor Hou Kuan-ren led hundreds of police officers who carry weapons, searching all the Taijimen Qigong academies and the private residences of several Taijimen 弟子, and then unlawfully detained our 师父, Dr. Hong Daozi, for months. During the investigation, Hou Kuan-ren manipulated the media to publish slanders and inaccurate statements to defend our 师父 and Taijimen. Finally, he also violated the scientific investigation by absurdly accusing our 师父 of raising goblins. What seems to be as ridiculous as an 8 o'clock show nowadays is really being played out in Taiwan. The following day after the indictment was published, he dispatched investigators with empty fruit cartons to search Taijimen academies in Da'an, Nangang, Shulin, and Kaohsiung. Finally, he seized a pitchwood sword as the criminal evidence. In fact, everyone should know that in Chinese folklore, the pitchwood sword is often used to dispel evil and invoke good luck. However, in Hou Kuan-ren's eyes, the magic weapon that was originally used for blessing has become a tool for raising goblins. Besides, it's completely contrary to due process of law to prosecute the case first and then search for evidence and finally interrogate the defendants. The court should notice the obvious mistakes and the violation of due process of law which made by Prosecutor Ho, and abandon the nonsense indictment immediately. What's more, the only fact is that the evidence of accusing Shifu of raising goblins, the pitch was swole, is actually a gift from my grandmother out of gratitude. So, here is the story. After 10 years and 3 months trial, Taijimen finally won the criminal case. In 2002, the Taiwan Control Yuan investigated and issued reports stating that Prosecutor Ho have committed 8 major violations of the law in the Taijimen case. But till today, Ho has not been punished for the mistakes made, but has been promoted to Deputy Director General of the Agency Against Corruption. Let us wonder, when will justice be done? How could such a ridiculous thing happen in Taiwan? In 2010, Dr. Ring Wolo, as an AWC Vice President and Representative to the United Nations, Geneva, submitted a 1503 procedure to the Human Rights Council about the Taijimen case. Dr. Ring Wolo reminded the United Nations Human Rights Council that the Taijimen case began as a legal court case during which there were human rights abuses. These abuses were later highlighted by government investigations, and compensation was paid to those who so abused. However, the court case dragged on for 10 years and took a heavy moral and psychological toll on many in the Taijimen. In Taijimen case, the Taiwanese government showed us that when injustice is done, it can be allowed, and that unlawful government forces can continue to abuse their power without being stopped. Can I feel safe in a country where evil always triumphs over good, and without a reasonable system of restraint? The answer is absolutely not. That's why the system of justice needed to be reformed right away. I believe no one would like to see their property and land auctioned and confiscated by the states, or more simply, people we love being taken away by force for no reason. However, this could happen in any minute when we don't care about the fairness and justice of the society. In my opinion, it is the same as choosing to ignore the conscience in our heart. Therefore, I want to invite everyone all over the world to wake up their conscience, to pay attention to this case, and let the injustice stop immediately. Thank you.
Thank you, Selena. Selena's sharing reminds me what Hong Kong human rights lawyer Sam once said. Injustice for one is injustice for all. We can't allow any person to be left alone, because if one person's human rights can be a harm, it means that all persons' human rights can be harmed at any time. We sincerely hope the government will listen to the voice of young people and implement true legal and tax justice in Taiwan, so that our loved ones won't be harmed again. Next, we'd like to welcome another speaker. She is a shipping staff. Please welcome Octavia.
Hello everyone, I have looked at a lot of applications, but you are the only one who has a volunteer experience. That was the interviewer's first remark to me. Real happiness comes from helping others. My Shifu told me, and those who make the best use of their time have the most time. I used to volunteer in a health center after class when I was in elementary school to assist some injured students with their medication. When I was in college, I spent my weekends volunteering at the RU. And after I graduated, I continued to volunteer at the Rural Museum on weekends. Shifu taught me life lessons and the practical method of doing things. Qigong practice kept me physical healthy, and the life wisdom kept me in a good mood every day. My senior sister in the school once said that I'm a happy and trouble-free person, but I do have problems. But I use the wisdom that my Shifu taught me to solve or deal with them. So of course the time of our words become much shorter. Shifu teaches us love and peace in order to help the world and our country. I aspire to be a good global citizen. Taijiman has been invited to perform in National Day performance 8 times in the last 10 years. It's the only non-governmental organization in Taiwan to have hosted at National Day conventions and dinner performance. It demonstrates the soft power of a national culture through the dissemination of the high-quality culture. Taijiman took first place in the 4 individual events at the 2002 as World Cup International Martial Arts Championships, including internal style boxing, external style boxing, weapon, and Qigong. Also received the Golden Medal Award of the Champion of the Wushu Performance Team and the Golden Medal of the World's Most Outstanding Performance, the highest honor in the international martial art industry history. In addition, we were invited to have a premiere performance of a Night of Asian Culture at the Sydney Opera House. Taijiman truly understood, because they understood the truth of the consistency in word and deed. And today, such an example is presented before your eyes to guide us in the direction we should follow, said Home Government Samuel, Governor of New South Wales, Australia. Taijiman has always been dedicated to cultural preservation and the promotion of the Chinese culture. Every year, the Ministry of the Culture allocated millions of dollars each year to subsidize a cultural organization. But Taijiman has never received any government subsidies, all of which are self-funded by Shifu and Dizi. However, it's hard to believe that such a cultural group, which is highly recognized and praised by all circles that Taiwan and abroad, has been on the role of redressing the wrongful and forced case of Taijiman for 25 years and still cannot get the justice back. The main issue is that on July 13, 2007, and the Supreme Court found Taijiman not guilty of the fraud, tax evasion, or violation of the tax codes. In 2019, although the National Tax Bureau corrected 5 of the 6 years of the illegal tax to zero, it violated the principle of consistency and equality by maintaining the tax bill for 1992. The National Tax Bureau and the Administrative Enforcement Agency both knew the 1992 tax bill was illegal. But on August 21, 2020, they joined hands to forcibly auction for and nationalize the scare land belong to Taijiman by the government. This is a schedule sign that our Shifu helped to build a spiritual cultivation for Dizi. This is not just a violation of the people's property rights, but also a serious warning sign of the collapse of the rule of law in the country. Culture is the foundation of a nation. Countries all over the world are dedicated to preservation and promotion of the culture, and the freedom of the culture and belief has been denied as a human rights protection item. Taiwan, which has long been praised as a beacon of democracy and freedom around the world, has been persecuting Taiwan spiritual groups by criminal and taxation for 25 years, which is a serious human rights persecuting that has shocked the world. Today, the government has not corrected such abusively reinstated entitlement tax case. I remember that on the anniversary of the establishment of the Taiwan National Human Rights Commission in 2021, the president of the country, Cheng, just expressed her desire to fight for more space for the National Human Rights Commission future development and to ensure the realization for social justice for a country to have a quiet people. It is dependent on a good mentorship culture. I would like to make a solemn appeal to the government to respect human rights, protect the culture, and build a correct and good legal and tax environment. And at the time, the National Human Rights Commission should launch an investigation to redress the Taiwan fake case and return the scale place of Taiwan, which is the blessing of the people. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Octavia. We understand more deeply the importance of human rights from what Octavia shared. In fact, Taiwan added human rights education to the grade 1 to 9 curriculum guidelines as early as May 15, 2012. But after so many years, we still haven't seen any progress in the importance of human rights in Taiwan, which is shameful and regrettable. Next, we'd like to welcome another speaker. She is a sales representative. Please welcome Iris.
Hello everyone, I'm Iris. When I was 1 year old, my parents brought me to Taiwan. Although I'm the only child at home, there are many kids of my age. To me, they are like my brothers and sisters that accompanied me during my childhood. My Sifu, Dr. Hong, is like my father who teaches me life wisdom. I used to be a very shy person and get nervous easily, let alone give a speech like this. So Taiwan is a second home to me, and I'm forever grateful to my Shifu. I have visited many countries with my Shifu to spread the message of love, peace, and conscience. Everyone we've met, every heads of states or government officials that we encountered, they all praise and admire Shifu's dedication, thinking that what we've achieved could bring positive impact to the world. However, a cultural group that is recognized by important people around the globe has been maliciously persecuted of human rights for 25 years long, and the abuse still lasts until now. Taiwan case is a fabricated case in the first place. Since the beginning in 1966, Taiwan Qigong Academy has never had any taxation issue. However, in 1996, Taiwanese government executed the political purge and a false accusation letter was sent to prosecutor Ho Kwan-ren. After receiving the letter, he forged a huge amount in the indictment without any evidence, claiming that it was fraud and asking the court to confiscate the money. On the other hand, he also claimed that the money was the tuition fee of cram school and operating revenue, and sent the case to the National Taxation Bureau. This has apparently violated the principle of double jeopardy. According to the due process of law, the NTB should investigate first and wait for the ruling of criminal court. Nevertheless, the Bureau directly copied the false indictment produced by Prosecutor Ho and issued the illegal tax bills for 6 years. After 10 years of long criminal lawsuit procedure, the criminal court has ruled not guilty, no fraud, no tax evasion, and no violation of the Tax Collection Act. The monetary gifts that we gave to Shifu are non-taxable gifts. The court has proven Taiwan innocent, but the NTB still did not revoke the illegal tax bills but only corrected the amount of 5 years to 0, leaving the tax bill for 1992 to keep persecuting us, including illegally seized our academies for a long period of time. Last August, they even further auctioned off and nationalized our land properties, which we planned to build as a self-cultivation place. During the 25 years, the government has been deploying judicial and taxation measures to oppress people. The abuse of public power has not only hurt the freedom of belief of the Taijimen Jizi, but also seriously damaged the democracy and human rights in Taiwan. We are not guilty, but we have been forced to spend our lifetime and energy to constantly prove our innocence to the government. The result ended up like the Sisyphus in Greek mythology, where he has to roll a giant boulder up to a steep hill. Before he could reach the top, the boulder would roll down to the bottom and he has to repeat the process eternally. The painful and endless cycle is similar to the situation of Taijimen Dizi and Shifu, as we have done nothing wrong but were tortured during the malfunctioned administrative remedies. This July, the important International Religious Freedom Summit was held in Washington, D.C. The co-chair of IRF Summit 2021, Sam Brownback, mentioned that freedom of religious and belief is a basic human right. Human rights cannot thrive without it. Looking back at the history, many dynasties were prosperous because of religious freedom. People believed that the virtue and strength of belief could bring the society good impact and stability. Furthermore, Brownback emphasized that religious freedom should be guaranteed for everyone, everywhere, and all the time. Taiwan is known for its democracy, but the tragedy has been going on for 25 years and the government officials are still not willing to face the truth and give back the justice that they owed Taijimen. Here, I want to call upon President Tsai Ing-wen and the government officials to carry out their promises of protecting Taiwanese human rights. As the National Human Rights Commission was established in 2020, President Tsai has publicly stated that no matter how the form of government transformed, human rights protection and international human rights standard alignment would be the ultimate goals. President of Control Yuan Cheng also stressed that the Commission is founded with the concept of conscience. The first step of safeguarding human rights is to implement and let people no longer suffer from the judicial and tax abuse. I urge the officials to revoke Taijimen's illegal tax bills immediately and return our land properties. Stop putting the interests above human rights so that Taiwanese people can truly have the democracy and freedom of belief. The whole society could progress and reach harmony. Thank you.
Thank you, Iris. From what Iris shared, we see how a group dedicating to spreading the message of love and peace throughout the world is malicious persecuted by its own government using illegal taxation and judicial measures for 25 years alone. I sincerely hope the government will show its conscience and determination to solve this case that was created out of nothing. Now, we'd like to welcome our final speakers. He is a software engineer. Please welcome Steve.
Hello, everyone. My name is Steve. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to express myself in today's forum. I'm Taijimen Dizi, growing up in this big family, which had a profound impact on my life. Taijimen assisted me in discovering my true self. I also learned that love, peace, and conscience have the power to change the world for the better. However, while I was happily growing up in Taijimen big family, I discovered that Taijimen was being persecuted by corrupt officials. The bureaucratic system is riddled with flaws, which led to numerous human tragedies in Taiwan. And this inspires us to use nonviolent forms to raise our voices for the vulnerable, in the hope of correcting the bad situation. I was extremely frail as a child and had to go to the doctor almost once a week. Colds, nasal congestion, and fever were all common for me. Most kids hate taking medicine, but I took them so often that I didn't think it was strange. In addition to my poor physical condition, I was also quite an introverted child. It was not until junior high school that I joined Taijimen and practiced Qigong for a period of time that I found that my body was improving. Aside for the physical changes, it was my spiritual growth that surprised me the most. I began to share my growth story on stage with the help of my brothers and sisters. That was terrifying to me at first, but after a few tries, I began to improve my speaking ability. I discovered that people can grow up faster in a good environment. That's why having a strong sense of conscience is so important. It is possible to create a good environment and promote positive circulation if everyone has a conscience. Later, when I was in college, I founded a music studio and gave a speech to hundreds of people. It's amazing how an introverted kid can transform into a completely different person in just a few years. I'm grateful for my Shifu's guidance for teaching me. My Shifu also taught me the meaning of commitment. On September 11th, 2001, the world was shocked by a terrorist attack. My Shifu, brothers and sisters were in New York at the time. People in the city were terrified, attempting to flee the city. In spite of such anxiety, we still invite UN ambassadors and leaders of non-governmental organizations to ring the bell of peace and pray to calm the people of the world. After the bell ceremony, we kept our promise to left for Hawaii as scheduled. We held a night of ancient culture and blessing ceremony on September 16th at Hawaii Theater in Honolulu, inviting people from all walks of life to pray for Hawaii, the United States, and the world. Hollis, the mayor of Honolulu City, was deeply moved. He gave Dr. Hong the honorary title of Honolulu Honorary Citizen and declared September 16th, 2001 as Taijimen Qigong Academy Day and Hongdaozi Day. At a time when everyone wants to leave the United States, we continue to keep our promises and do the right thing. Because we know that if we don't do something in this situation, we will come for naught. A promise from a martial artist is worth $1,000. And that is the spirit I learned from my Shifu. My Shifu told us that we should follow our conscience and do what is right and beneficial to society. But we have been persecuted for 25 years for a fabric case, particularly the illegal auction case on the secret land belonging to Taijimen that happened in 2020. It was a startling realization for me. We were innocent. From the beginning, it was an unscrupulous officials that created the fake cases to frame us. But the system was unable to correct the mistakes and allow them to spread like an avalanche across the country and even the world. In 1996, the fabricated case originated from the false indictment of prosecutor Ho Kuan-ren, who used false evidence and witnesses to frame my Shifu and violated the principle of secret investigation by misleading the media to make false criticism of Taijimen. Besides, the National Tax Bureau, NTB, issued the wrong tax bill to Taijimen simply based on the incorrect information in the indictment without carrying out investigation required by its statutory duty. Despite the Supreme Court's judgment on July 13, 2007, that Taijimen was not guilty of fraud, tax evasion, or violation of tax codes, the NTB continued to issue the incorrect tax bill and ignore the court's judgment. In 2010, the legislators held a public hearing in Legislative Yan, and the Ministry of Finance promised to revoke the tax bill and withdraw its enforcement within 2 months. However, the tax bill continued to be issued in violation of the promise. They broke the law and betrayed the trust of the people. Even confronted the situation of 9/11 attacks, Taijimen Shifu and Dizi still kept the promise to go to Hawaii City. But our government didn't. The bonus and the pursuit of performance blind the officials' conscience and made them lose the glory of humanity. And they fell into the endless abyss when they auctioned off the secret land of Taijimen. In the process of our fight for justice, we have made a lot of justice partners. Experts and scholars from all over the world are all raising their voice supporting Taijimen. They appealed to the government to redress the fabricated Taijimen case as soon as possible, because it is unjust in so-called democratic Taiwan. Solving the fabricated Taijimen case will be a great process in Taiwan's democracy. Only by doing so can justice be truly done in Taiwan. We call on Taiwanese government to start by regaining their conscience, restoring the trust between the people and the government, so that our country can move toward the next milestone of democracy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. In Steve's sharing, he said the Taijimen case is no longer a single case, but after the government repeats broken promise and blatant breach of trust, I hope that the government will really carry out comprehensive reforms this time. Thanks to the 4 young speakers who shared their stories, we hope this voice of the young can be heard by more people, and then more people will come to understand the importance of legal taxation and human rights. At the end, we would like to present the special song for you. We hope that the world will unite to create a beautiful world of love and peace. Thank you again for your participation today, and we'll see you next time.